Good day, everyone. Welcome to my vlog. And did you like my little sea treasure we got this morning? I love finding the horseshoe crabs full. They really are. They're a great sea treasure. So we have a few things to do today. Not sure exactly which things we'll focus on, but let's just get started and get to the vlog. Well, let's head out for a short walk today. And as you see, we're starting out zoomed in one of my mid-century vintage cups, which is another version of vintage china I need to share with you one day. But for now, let's leave our cup of coffee we've enjoyed this morning and look up at our usual little spot here, our stairway down. Now, I have mentioned in the past that this used to be a beautiful stone steps that led all the way to the beach. And if you can notice, these large bits of rectangular stone scattered about, those used to be laid as these are laid all the way down this path. So you could take a nice, even, wonderful step down on lovely granite stone. However, Hurricane Bob in the 80s saw fit to rearrange things, as nature often does. So what I did a few years ago, the stopgap solution we've used, has been every spring I have backfilled with truckloads of mulch. They bring it in a giant truck and dump it there, and then by hand I shovel it down into that hole, and that used to be a much deeper hole. The ultimate solution will be what we can afford is wood. So we will build a wood platform that meets up with our little pathway that leads to the boathouse I shared with you before, that runs along this area here. And then there will be wooden stairs that come down over top of these stones. All right. So for today's walk, I'm just going to do a simple little walk on our beach down our stairs. So as I said, we've just come down from what will hopefully one day be nice stairs. There's the kayak waiting for us one day to do a kayak together. And then if there's a wooden platform there, it will tie into all along that jumble of stones is the pathway that leads to the boathouse. Now those jumble of stones also used to be beautifully laid, all fitted together and landscaped, but the sea will have its way, nature will out. Let's just walk this way a tiny bit. The last time we walked towards our neighbor's dock, which is that direction, towards the boathouse. And this way, if we keep walking, will lead us around the point over to the area I showed you, which is the salty inlets that we can reach by our wood. Let's start with this, though. I often feel very isolated and secluded out here, but do you see that? Happy birthday Minnie Mouse balloon. Those sort of things always remind me that I'm not out in the center of the world all alone, and that civilization, for whatever it wants to be, will always tap tap at our shore. So I'll pick that up later. So I think we're just going to do a short walk today because I've lost track of time because I've been working on my wallpaper like mad this week. And here I am, and yesterday I'd meant to take our walk, and then we got a big storm, and it was far too windy to walk. There would have been no audio. So today's just going to be a short walk that I can share, and then we can get on with the rest of the video. Because as I am trying to stick with my 3 videos a week, it doesn't give me as much time in between to do things, but we always have time for a walk. And look how lovely. See how it's still fairly early morning, so see how the sun is backlighting the clouds? So it's almost like someone went in and reversed to a negative on Photoshop. So rather than the sky being dark and the clouds being light, we have light sky and dark clouds. Now, I always do a beach comb most mornings. Yesterday it was very windy, so I didn't bother. But I usually have a little look-see, and sometimes it's just a shell I find. Oh. Now, this is fairly common. Just set you down here for a moment while I grab this. This is just the center, I get it in camera. This is just the center of a conch shell. But whenever I find these, I always think they're so magical. Doesn't that look like a unicorn's horn? Or some magical spiral? So I collect these up because though they may look like almost something you'd walk by, collect a few of them up into a pretty glass jar and you'll be surprised at the treasure you have. So I guess treasure is all relative. Now this treasure has been here for some time, and I keep meaning to get someone to help me carry it back. But it washed ashore, oh heavens, at least a month ago. It's just a big piece of fence or boardwalk. I actually thought it would be great for a little boardwalk in our garden, so I'm not sure if you can see it. Even like that, it's quite lovely. That would be an amazing sketch. But it's still here. It's been here at least a month, with the salt hay washing over it, over and over it. And I love this. Doesn't this look like something that would be landscape, but it's landscape by nature. See, the shells are up there, and then we have the wild poppy, which is the green plant. In spring, it makes the most beautiful yellow poppies. They grow on the beaches. And there's some lovely goldenrod, which does not mind being down here on the beach. And then we have some derelict cedars that have just planted themselves where they felt they wanted to, but yet looks very landscaped. So this won't be a very long walk. I just wanted to make sure I shared a bit of the crunch of the shells, the view of the sky, and the sound of the sea, because I have much work to do. I think I'm going to hop out to the boathouse quickly because I want to just show you roughly. I have a funny idea that I might try, so I'm going to get some footage, and if it worked out, it shall be in this video. If not, then what I'm saying here is nonsense. Although probably most of what I say is nonsense. So let's just walk back, but see with the light behind us. And now our shadow is in front. I really do need to get a, oh no, I forget what it's called, a gimbal to carry my camera about in, because I try really hard to hold it still. But I mean, I can only hold it so still. So it's on my list of wants. We'll see, maybe one day I can afford it. But for now, I'm trying very hard to just hold the camera still. And look at the color here. See how the light is hitting. Now this time of year, all the switchgrass starts to go yellow, which to me, besides the autumnal leaves, for me, New England is also these seagrasses turning yellow, because they're amazing, bright, vibrant green in the high of summer. But this time of year, they start fading to yellow before they turn to brown. And then, of course, they get completely broken down into nothing in the winter, which you will see when that comes. But for now, with the light hitting the boats, and I'm actually surprised our neighbors must be down for the Columbus Day weekend. They have their boats out. And I see a fisherman's boat off the dock. And the water's very calm today. Now, if you'd seen yesterday, the waves were huge and the kite surfers were out. Oh, let me see if I can get this little fellow. This is the flat rock, which I filmed before underwater when the water just laps at the top of it. But this rock is used by the seagulls and the other shorebirds every day as their little dining table. They fly high above it, and you can hear that early in the morning I can hear the drop, drop, crack sounds of the shells falling from the sky and hitting that stone. And it's the birds dropping them and then eating the delicious sweetmeats of the shellfish inside. Boy, he's enjoying his breakfast. I can't tell here. I'll probably be able to tell in edit. I think it looks like he's eating a crab. So I suppose vegetarians to be aware. Or look away. So we'll have one quick look back at the lovely sun up in the sky. Our little friend having his breakfast. Pan around. Oh yes, I've done, this is the spitting rock, and I've sketched and painted this rock so many times because much like, yes, I've done it many times. Much like Monet's haystacks, I could paint it 100 times, 100 different days, and it would never look the same because the light hits it, the tide's at a different height, more lichen, less lichen, birds, no birds. So, and then we'll pan around to the view that I normally share. And we will head back. And we can see my 2 Adirondack chairs waiting for us to sit and have a little visit, which maybe we'll do that in our next vlog. All right, well, at least we got a little bit of a quick walk in this morning, and we got our unicorn horn treasure, and we were able to watch one of our bird friends have his morning breakfast. So let's get on with the rest of today's video. Today's Chateau de Lalande sketch for the book, which is not a book project, is going to be our little furry friend Crotte, the little bunny who is sometimes there. And followers of Lalande will recall that he was featured in an Easter vlog as well as some other vlogs. But I love to draw rabbits in general. I guess possibly maybe it's from my own love of Beatrix Potter. Plus I've always loved I've had rabbits. There are plenty of rabbits around here, and I'm always drawing rabbits as well as making my current wallpaper, which features rabbits. But today's sketch is just a pencil sketch of Crotte, and of course, as I'm playing with my theme of the sort of 18th century gentleman, he is wearing his little neck scarf and his velvet waistcoat or overcoat. So this is just a pencil sketch, and then sketched in with digital chalk, and then just a quick digital chalk background just to get a layout of how he could look. All right, well, that will probably do it for the sketch. However, I was thinking I wanted to talk about the fact that this coming week, though I've been trying to finish my wallpaper, I may be doing more sketches of Chateau Lalande just because I feel like I need to catch up with those that I've been making, and so many of you have seemed to be truly interested in them, so I feel like I need to dedicate more of my time during the week. So you will probably see more of that on the vlogs on Wednesday and Friday. All right, let's get back to today's video. All right, we're inside the boathouse for a particular reason. And that is I wanted to show, I'm thinking I've figured out a way to add a wall. So for standing here where Bessie lives, but I think she's going to be moved to the right because I'm going to be tearing out that sink and trying to find some sort of freestanding sink. So, but here's Bessie by these windows. And here are our double windows that look out to the sea. Again, you have to picture the hedges being hedged up so you can see the sea. And then this is a funny old 70s colonial-esque piece I'm going to paint and use in the kitchen. And then as you look down the length of the boathouse, which again is basically one room divided by another half wall, and if you look down this way, you can see the boathouse is one long basic space, and then to the left, off camera, is the little area I had shown you before. We had put the little pumpkins and cleaned that area first. So if we look from the table with Bessie behind, down this way, then what I want to show you is if you see the ceilings are this really pretty, big, thick, very, very thick beams. You can see how thick they are. And there's a short one and then a thicker one. So you can see with my hand how deep this one is. It's at least a 12-inch beam. So that 12-inch beam, which is exactly in the center of this space, so that beam along there, if you see my finger, so that side over there where I'm pointing my finger over there will be where I will put the propane fireplace. And then to this center beam I just showed you here is where I'd like to do a wall, a wall that divides the two spaces, because I've decided that I want from Bessie all the way along where this cabinet is to this beam, which is literally 50% of this little front section. I want all of that to be kitchen. Where originally I was going to do a little galley kitchen, but now I realize it's going to be such fun to film little cooking things on Bessie and just playing in this area that I wanted the kitchen in the boathouse, though it's tiny, to be a very live-in, sit-in kitchen. So basically showing that even in a smaller space, somewhat of a tiny house or a small cottage, you can still have a fairly good-sized kitchen. So again, I'm going to show this here. Now, what I thought would be fun is I play the game Minecraft, and I thought if I use the game Minecraft that I can use it to show you how I want to lay this out. I mean, it's going to be a very rudimentary way to show you, but I thought it'd be kind of fun. So let's hop on there and I'll see if I can give you a layout of how I want to move the stove over, make a little faux wall for the stove, and possibly put up that stove, and even find a way, hopefully, to have a little mini pantry. So let's go see if I can figure that out and if I can edit it. Let's head to that part of the video. So for a funny little idea, I thought I play the game Minecraft, which I'm sure some of you may know of. This is me in my Minecraft form. I made my little tartan skirt and my, my little vest. I mean, it's a pretty rough approximation of the area of the boathouse we're currently doing. And this area over here you have not seen yet, so I haven't revealed that yet because it's going to be another clean video. And I haven't actually shown this little section here, which is behind this door, which is has the bathroom in. There's just a chair and a little table and things. But what I have shown you thus far, this represents the little clean we did on the wall, and I moved the kitchen counter over here. So maybe I'll put a little picture of that up in the corner if I can manage. If not, I'm sure you can remember. And then these would be the sliders out, and the sea would be out there. And then these are the random bookcases. This was the old bar in the corner. This is the funny little 50s sofa. This is Bessie. This represents Bessie, and then here's how the sink and stuff is currently set up, and this is just where the little fridge and random cabinets currently sit. So this is all open this way. And the reason I'm taking you in here and showing you this is what I think I've decided to do to divide the room in half. Now originally I was going to have the kitchen just be a tiny little galley kitchen and leave this area here so it would be tiny, and then Bessie would be there. But the more I've thought about Bessie, and the more I want to have the kitchen be a fun workspace for us, for filming and enjoying, I thought, you know what, I want to make it a bigger space. And I thought, I'm going to take this whole front section, divide it down the center, and have equally as much a live-in kitchen so that Bessie can be highlighted. And then this also gives me another wall for decorating. I know this isn't a very good approximation, but it's much easier to do than in real life. So if this sofa were moved, and maybe that stays somewhere along there, if we built a wall here, and I'll use blue because it will probably be, or we'll have our wallpaper and such on it, and I can hook it to that beam. So now the room is divided. So now this bit of the kitchen, this bit of the boathouse, that all is the kitchen, and this all would be the living room, relaxation, little sitting room area. And by giving me this wall in the kitchen, I now can take this cabinet, which is just an inexpensive cabinet I threw together that was in a box in the boathouse, but I can move it over here for now, because it will save money, and place it along here, and then I can paint it up and make it adorable. And what I thought would help to make the light come through is I have some old windows from our other little house that I haven't shared with you yet, that we had taken out because we had to have new windows put in. So I saved those old windows. They're nothing fancy, but they're just windows that have been in the house that we've loved. So I thought if I put an interior window, which I love interior windows, they let light through and they just give a lot of opportunity for decorating. So if I have a window there, then this dresser can be painted up and we can put lovely china here, and then I can have cabinets here and still have it feel very open. And then we can put open shelves up here, and this could be my lovely wallpaper. And then over here we can have the sink taken out and rethought about, and we can move Bessie more centered, so she has pride of place under the window, and this opens up more space by these windows, so that then another little faux wall, it wouldn't be as thick as I'm showing here, but just for the sake of how this game works, a faux wall here with glass in, so that while you're cooking here, you can look out at the sea view out there, but not splatter, and you can have another little cabinet here on either side of Bessie. And then you could have a cute window here so that you can still look at the view and have a place to put food. But if anything were to splatter, then it wouldn't hit what I'd like to have here, which would be a lovely little, nice little settee in this corner so that you can sit here and enjoy the view. And maybe have a little table. I haven't decided, because then I think the table we currently have could then be the table. Then our table we currently have in there could be the table in the center, which could almost work like a sort of island, but also a place to both sit at as an eat-in kitchen, as well as a workspace. It would be a great place to sit. Now this table could also possibly live over here where this settee is, but I haven't decided because I kind of want, it's a tiny space and I want to get as much living out of it as possible. So now here we are, we're in the living room. This is the kitchen. We've built this wall. Now what I think is in this area here, we can build another little wall here that would have a window in, because I love pantry that has a window. and that lets more light in. And then these blocks are too big to represent it, so let's just say this is a thinner wall here. So this could be a mini little pantry here with, you could have little narrow shelves, like let's represent that this is shelves. So you could come in and you could have little things on shelves like this, things over the little window that you can still see out to the sea and into the living room, and a couple of little shelves here. And this wall I built here, so this would now be the entrance into the kitchen from the living room. This wall here could be a double duty wall that that's perhaps open, so you can even have pass through of darling little canned jars or things like that. But yet this still has a feeling of a little closed in pantry, and yet it's still open enough to make the kitchen feel open. And you have your little fridge and more cabinets over here and lovely dishes and a place to sit and a table to sit at and eat, or to bake or do those type of things. And this is open enough here that you can easily get to the lovely Bessie, do the dishes. And if the space, having this open just feels good, but you could always have another little small side table that sits there, just have another thing to set something down on. And so I know this is an odd way to share it. So now, just to give an overview of how it would be laid out with the two built walls, let's start as we walk into the little living room with the new fireplace in. And then we have the two walls, and I would have a little desk set up on this side of the wall by the window, and a little sofa on this wall here. Then as we go through, by here you can see, so this front section of the boathouse would be the living room area, and then this would be the kitchen down here, with dear sweet Bessie, and our little spot to sit and watch the sea, or to dream and sketch. And then we have our little pantry bit over here with the window into the living room and to look at the sea. And then this bit of the wall in the kitchen has the window that looks over into the living room. And then here I could set up a beautiful, I have this antique desk I kind of want to use, where I could edit and work on things for the vlog. So this is the general layout that I wanted to have for the boathouse. So if you're still here at this point, hopefully you can kind of get what I'm trying to do with this Minecraft layout, to get an idea of how building those two walls could really make a big difference. And then having our little fire and our little living room area and a desk to work at, I think it will be a very lovely area. So that's what I wanted to share about building my walls for the boathouse. Well, thanks for joining me here today. I hope you had fun. I certainly had fun. And you still can't convince me that this horseshoe crab wouldn't make an amazing hat. I won't be convinced otherwise. Well, time for tea. And I will see you on Wednesday on the vlog. See you on social medias and etc. And remember, stay creative. Cheers.